last lunch and learn session for the year. And we also plan for what is upcoming next year. I'm hoping that you'll be able to give me topics, give me areas that we need to focus on in our coming year, so that we can arrange everything well for our upcoming series. But for now, I have the honor of introducing Paul, better known as Pau, to grace us and have our final session for the year, close the year at a high. I know he has something nice planned for us, so I know we also learn quite a lot. No pressure. Yeah, so without wasting any more of your time, Pau, karibu sana.
Can we not do that? Please, I'm begging you. That's the most church introduction that I've ever had. I'm going to make a request, because I'm seeing a microphone here, and I'm seeing these other guys are recording, and I wasn't told. Can I ask that that if you are recording, unless it's a commission, that you do not use this material anywhere? You can take photos, please don't take videos. That's okay? Because I'm going to drop names, and I need to clear with those names in advance. That's okay? Please. All right, so what did they tell you were coming here to do?
Something.
Lunch. Because there's only 3 of us, I think we can just talk amongst ourselves. I mean, we will be done in 10 minutes, but we need to give Akina Jose time to set up. So, what do you guys want to talk about? All right. So my name's Apollo Tieno, best known, or rather, want to be known as Shinski everywhere. That's the brand I am trying to build around. Hawezi anza na lunch and lunch. Lazima nipe lunch and lunch. Yeah. I am an independent creative director. I work mostly in visuals and moving images, film, to create content for sales. So I tell people that I'm a salesman because I do content that helps other people make the sales. And I like saying that, probably one day you are thirsty and you thought about a Tusker. I believe I've had a hand in it. If you are hungry and you ended up at Social House or at Sankara or at Java or wherever, I want to believe that my images probably helped you make that decision. So today we're going to talk about portfolios and how to build commercial portfolios. What this talk is not, it is not a motivational speaking kind of engagement. I won't use myths or far-fetched ideas. I'll try and stick to facts for the purposes of learning. And I'm assuming that we're here because we want to make commercial content. We want to sell content that we do. In whatever platform, whether you're a writer, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a filmmaker, whatever you want to do, we are doing it for the money, right?
Yes.
Are we okay?
Yes.
Yes. Amen. Nani hapo iko kwa kazi ya kanisa? Yeah. So how many probably you find out, let's just go around and everybody introduces themselves and what they do. And then we'll get straight into it after that. We'll take a look at a few portfolios from people who I consider high-end creators and just benchmark on what we're doing. Yeah? No, well, not high-end, but really top-notch creators. So we can start with you.
My name is Gerald. I work in media. I'm a digital creator, but I'm mostly involved in a lot of copywriting.
Copy, okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's how I am my brand. And I like coming here to network and also to engage with other creatives and also to to be able to glean new ideas, things that I can channel my creative pursuits towards, while simultaneously giving myself a chance to also earn more bread.
How do you?
Hi, my name is Sally. I am a podcaster working on a podcast called Mama Tales, but generally a larger outfit that does storytelling.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I am a journalist. I'm also a fundraiser, and I beg for a living. So
Fundraiser.
I
Yes,
beg,
sorry.
yeah? I beg for a living, so that's what I do. And I tell stories so that if I beg you, you give me cash.
What makes you most money apart from begging?
Apart from begging,
Yeah.
yeah, begging is lucrative. Giving social commentary, I MC for events.
Mhm.
I'm a communication specialist, so sometimes I help people move from one point to another in terms of their comms. Yes, that
Yeah.
also fills the pocket.
Okay. What do you do? What makes you most
What
money?
makes me most money is not my podcast.
Mhm.
I work in communications in the AI field,
Okay.
so that's where I get most money.
So you work in AI, but you're a hobbyist, hoping to commercialize your.
Yeah, I mean, kind of looking at this as my ultimate career path, because before I've always worked in the tech space, and even then I was telling stories, but I was always running away from that side.
Mhm.
And now just taking the bulls by the horn and just being like, this is what I'm investing in. So with the podcast, with everything else that comes out of it, storytelling is at its core.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You can go there.
Hi, Eurydian. Sifon is my name. I handle operations and membership here at Tanzania.
What makes you most money? No, let's go to
Admin work.
Yeah.
Admin, HR, and compliance.
Oh, okay.
Yes, my name is Andrew Balongo Pere. I'm a creative and express myself through photography, video, editing, and podcasting also. What makes me the most money, I'd say photo gigs and video gigs.
Photo.
Yes,
Okay.
for individuals rather than companies.
So you're saying you're a commercial photographer.
Yes.
Not in terms of advertising, but commercial. You make most money from photos.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Martel Pacarofio. I help businesses and individuals tell their stories visually. And how I do it is leverage the power of tiny lapse photography and traditional media to help bring your story to life.
And I assume that's where you make most money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hi everyone, my name is Bai. So I have a digital marketing and film agency.
Mm-hmm.
So what we work with small businesses to like manage their socials and tell their stories and help them in advertising. So most Bai it's a bit
It's
most
okay.
is a big word, but that's what I do. Yeah, and I am happy to be here.
First of all, I'm happy to be here. This is my first time. My name is Ashley Ugonda. I just became a recent member of Baraza. I'm a bit confused because I came here to work, and then I was told some people mentioned that you should go, so I'm here now.
Yeah.
During
Lunch and learn, we don't work. Nobody works.
I'm literally on a time crunch, but so I'm trying to do both. Wait for this time. So yeah, I'm a journalist. I've been a journalist for like the last 8 years. I was working in London briefly, then I come to Nairobi, was working with BBC. Now I work with Al Jazeera, with AJ Plus specifically. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the digital newspaper. So yeah, that's recent, and I'd say that's my main bread and butter. And in addition to that, I also just enjoy telling stories. So I created my own kind of storytelling hub or firm called Hadithi Hub. And with that, we're hoping to basically help companies learn how to grow their audiences by creating engaging content.
Right.
Hi everyone. My name is Steve. I am a producer at Produce Africa. I produce live streams, events, and podcasts. I also run a rental equipment business where I rent out cameras, lights, production.
These are yours.
All right. So can I just show my portfolio, and then I'll tell you a quick story. Good thing all of us here are storytellers. I'm going to bore you to death.
Try your best to be a storyteller.
Do your worst.
Really? All right. So this is my portfolio, and I'll just go through it. I won't talk about the individual images. So all this is work that I have done, and a lot more. And then I'll tell you how we got here. Also, I just want you to notice the pattern of the portfolio, how it looks like.
That's it.
Mom Chuchula. You believe that I don't even drink while I'm on set?
We will try and be.
Well, they're disciplined by the way. Right. So all these, some were personal projects, most were paid for by the client. Huh? So what's a portfolio? Portfolio is a representation. It's a promise of what you're able to do. So the reason you have a portfolio is because you want to show your clients or your potential clients that whatever work you want to do, I can do it, and nobody else will execute it the way I execute it. So that's the only reason, primary reason we have portfolios. Some people have showreels, videos, and they cut the different scenes or whatever it is that they've done, and they put it into maybe 1.5 minute reel that they're able to send out. My portfolio stays consistently on my WhatsApp, because then if you ask me for my portfolio, I guarantee in a minute you will have it. It's also just a business practice, and this guy like, hey, this guy is quick, he's fast. This is the guy you want to work with. Portfolios are a product of personal projects. All portfolios are products of personal projects. I keep saying that you can ask anyone. If a client comes to you, they don't come to you with hoping that the job they'll give you can execute. They come knowing you will execute, because you've proven yourself that you're able to do whatever different work you've been done. So the case for me today is that we need to do a lot more personal projects and package them as portfolios for us to make a lot more money. So I'm going to ask, do we have portfolios?
We have CVs.
You have CVs. You have CVs. Yeah.
Does do video? Are they called showreels? They don't count as portfolios.
They are part of portfolios.
They're part of it, but
Yeah.
not the full.
It could be. I mean, if you're a DP or if you're a director or a DOP, you can actually just package the work you've done into a short video, and that will get you work that you're looking for. If I tell people that I'm a podcaster and they're looking to do a podcast, I can't send them all the podcasts I've done, because probably one podcast is 10 minutes at the very least, and you've done 100. I don't have time to watch 100 podcasts, so I make a decision on. So how you package that for yourself then determines if you're the guy they're going to work with or if it's somebody else. So showreels are part of portfolios. Ebooks are part of portfolios, and that's specifically for journalists, people who are writers. So you package whatever stories you've written, which you think are very impactful, into a very quick ebook, 30, 20 pages, that people can read while in traffic, and you've captured eyeballs. At least that's how it's worked for me. So I mean, so if you're purely voice, then you do a narration and record that, and then you use that as a portfolio when people are looking for voiceover artists. So I will ask again, do you have portfolios?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. However, for me, I found creating one portfolio to encompass my entire body of work becomes tough. So I curate portfolios based on the client.
So if a client calls you, that's when you do the portfolio, once they tell you what they want?
I already have like 2 separate portfolios for 2 specific client bases, but sometimes, yes, I'm following that situation.
That's interesting. So you most of you know me for probably my product work, but I also do commercial portfolios. And I guarantee you will rarely see this work.
You get more clients for commercial.
I do actually, but I want to get clients for product, because that's where most money is. Yeah. So if I shoot one product job, I'm probably sorted for a couple of months. If I do it and I do it really well. Yeah. So this was for a play done by Daisy Busolo a while back. That's good news. And these are some work I shot for Tis the Season. Some part of the commercial works I've done. Still Tis the Season. This is All Saints Cathedral was having a big Christmas concert, East African theme, so I shot the key visuals that were used for the marketing. And they're also very moody. I shot this for Schweppes, Niger, in the heat of COVID. I think we almost Lala in done with that day. These are some work I did for Art Cafe, Yura Beer in Uganda, Art Cafe as well, and that's it. Also, I always maliza with Let's Create Magic. That's how you don't lie, that's how you entice these people. The other key component of my portfolio, all my portfolios and my mood boards and my proposals always go with this one pager, with just a summary experience of what I've done. My education, which a lot of people would want to know, did you go to school? Recently, I added board member, independent director of the Kenyan Film Classification Board, but I need to get it done because root of others. And then I put a list of all the brands I've done. I put my competencies, photography, cinematography, creative writing, and copywriting, and I put my contacts. Nothing more. What I've learned is most of my clients don't want to hear. So this is what we did here, and this is what the client asked. If you go to a lot of agencies and you see their website, if you go to a lot of agency websites and you see the work they've done, there's usually a write-up, a justification of how did we arrive to this idea, how then did we execute, what are how many likes, how many impressions did we do, all those statistics. For portfolios, we don't do that. We just do this. I will show you a few portfolios while you're still thinking if you have a portfolio. Thank you. And you can ask any questions now. This is Mtuamatheka who graciously allowed me to share his portfolio. One of his portfolios. So sample lifestyle images. Are you seeing a trend in how we are laying out our portfolios?
Yes.
Sorry?
There's a lot of like
Three.
three.
And a lot of portraits, not landscape images.
If I showed you the ears of an elephant, would you be able to tell it's an elephant? If I showed you the ears of an elephant.
Well, it depends.
How close?
Depends.
How up close are you? How up close are you?
If I showed you the skin of an elephant, if I just grabbed the skin of an elephant, would you be able to tell that it's an elephant?
Yes, it's very distinct.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, that I don't need to see this entire building, or I don't need to see his chest. Just a presentation of it is good enough. But for him, which I find interesting is his how he lays them out. He does 3, and then he does 4. That's 4, then he goes back to 3, and then he does 4. Let me pick another one. You see? So he does 3, and then he does 4. He goes back to 3, goes back to 4. Goes back to 3, then goes back to 4. There's a method to the madness.
Can I just say I like how he does wildlife photography. You see a lot of non-Kenyans doing that. So
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of Kenyan.
All right. So, assuming then you have your body of work that you want to put into a portfolio, how then do you present it?
What's the secret to the 3?
With the 3-3, we are training the eye. So the human eye goes for patterns.
Or is it?
Yeah. If for this one he put 5, you throw off the human eye. So your client will be thrown off. They'll be like, something is disjointed here. I don't know why I'm looking at it. You know why we have this white border around portfolios, for visual portfolios? It's to keep your eye. So this border, just even in this 3, it blocks away everything. So your eye focuses on here, then it moves to the next, then it moves to the next. Aesthetics of design. Yeah. If we filled in this entire page with one image, it would be boring. Absolutely boring. But once we're able to lock in your eye, because we create even the frames, you see even this. These guys know why there are borders there, because then your eye is constrained. It can't go beyond whatever borders we've put in. Yeah. If you go for exhibitions, you always have guys who are just staring like this. But if you went to Social House and the big mural on the wall, you don't know what you're looking at. You're looking at a big image, but when they break it down into small, then your eye is able to focus and stay there for a while. Yeah. Any question?
Trying to translate this to a podcast, right?
Yeah.
I've tried to share my work in ways that you can grasp an essence of it in less than a minute and a half. So there's an audio trailer, and then there's like call it like a deck or something
Mm-hmm.
that not only captures what the podcast is, but also what the listeners grab from it. This can be like comments that have come in. But I'm trying to see.
Is it podcast specific or is it production specific? Are you sharing as a production house or are you sharing as the specific podcast?
As the podcast.
Okay.
But ideally that should move to the production house.
Yeah.
Because this podcast is the first one, but it's not the only one.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And then the aim for that, I do that to kind of grab listeners, not necessarily get clients, right? But now I'm shifting. But I need a version of that
For clients.
for clients.
Have you gotten any paid promotions for your podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How did that come?
Mostly through socials and referrals, right? Because every episode is accompanied by a lot of social content that goes out. And sometimes the social content performs way more than the podcast itself, right? So there's only a net part of that come back, but they have the awareness that exists. So a lot of work has come from that awareness that this platform is here, right? But I'm now looking at, when you're trying to commercialize this space, trying to bring in advertisers and clients, not only to use your platform as a way to share their product or service, but also commission me to create something for them, you know?
Yeah.
So
I'll answer you, then I'll give you a backstory. Yeah?
Okay.
So and I'll use myself. Let me use myself. Then I will relate with yours. I only have 2 targets for my portfolios. 2 only: brand managers and creative directors in agencies. If the CEO sits in the meeting, he's going to enjoy himself because he's going to see amazing imagery. But those are not my clients. My clients are the people I target mostly: art directors and creative directors, who, I assume are all creative directors in agencies, and brand managers, whether working in agencies or not. My portfolios are designed for them. They're not designed for the masses. They're not designed for the kawaida mwananchi. They're not designed for somebody who's just scrolling through social media. So I have a target audience, an active target audience, and what I do is I make sure that those are the guys I'm bombarding with my work. Yeah. So at least every week, 5 to 10 brand managers or art directors have to see my work. That's the method to the madness. What I'm hearing from you is you have one product that you want that's targeting listeners, and then you have one that's targeting potential partners. I would say split them up.
Yeah.
So do a cut for the commercial bit, and then do a cut for the numbers.
Yeah, because in essence, when I think about it, my product is a base of listeners that I have.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I'm quote unquote selling.
Yeah.
The podcast is a medium in which that happens.
Yeah.
Right? So I kind of figured out this part of reaching the audience, the target listeners, but now it's kind of like packaging that for clients to monetize on that base that exists. Right? Running a couple of experiments here and there, but I'm finally seeing what that is. But I think what needs to be top of mind is how do I grab that decision maker in that, because I'm also very experiential. Like
Experiential,
you wanna, there's one thing about talking the value of something, but there's also something about experience. Food for thought.
Please, free advice: split your portfolios. If you're trying to write for the Wall Street Journal, you know the kind of work they take. That's the kind of work you send to them. If you're trying to work for Tusker, you send beer work to them. If you're trying to please the masses, then you do work for the masses. A long story. So I first touched the camera in 2014, which means in about May 2014, in about 6-7 months, I'll be 10 years having held a camera. I got my breakthrough in 2017, and this is what happened. So I'm a traditional agency guy. Did an internship, got a job, sat in client service for long. I died every day. A million deaths. And then it didn't work. So my friends then were very, the experimental creatives. They had cameras. Cameras were a big thing then, and they were cheap, and you could just walk to town and buy a camera. Previously, you couldn't do that. The person who we saw shooting the most and she was doing street photography was Patricia Kioro, and we all wanted to be like Patricia Kioro, but we couldn't afford cameras. So once Patricia, once she started that trend, then a lot more people started getting cameras. So there was this group of creatives who are called One Touch Africa. You guys have heard One Touch Africa?
Yes.
So it's Joe McKenney, Mutua Matheka, Joe Were, then it was Njeri Ngige, Kevin Ouma, Paul Obuna. So it was Sebastian Manzala, who's the baddest photographer on earth, if you ask me. Please ask me. So they will get together every Tuesday and to go and shoot. Please remember, in agency I was a copywriter and I could do a bit of design. So I come from that creative bit of agency, and unlike other people, did I just say me?
Yes, you.
I never had that. People say, when I was growing up, my dad had this kind of camera, and then I thought that I did not. Yeah. So I wanted to hang out with them. So Njeri just told me one day, it makes sense for you to come here. Please, Karibu. It makes sense for you to come here every day and you don't have a camera, because the rest of us are shooting. Go get a camera. It will be a lot more fun and we'll learn a lot. By then, I think Mwangi Kirubi was also part of one. But then they had locked the registration, but they were open for guys. So those of us who started hanging out with them, then like Namooks, TJ, Mentalist, and a few other guys. Then we would go and see what they're doing. And, in the process, you learn. Then I started shooting everything. I started shooting portraits. Then weddings. I went to weddings and I shot weddings and I cried shooting weddings.
Yes.
They almost killed me, those brides. Then one day I got a random call. Also, the other thing you need to know, Chris Adora keeps saying that every practicing artist grows. Every practicing artist grows. The day you stop practicing, the day you stop growing. But if you keep practicing, so over shooting portraits, shooting weddings, shooting bunches for 2,000 bob and things like that, I had what I considered a body of work, but I had not seen it. Somebody else had seen it. You know, Anita Onuko, she's now head of comms at the office of the DPP. She was working for Grayling, which was a big agency then. So Grayling were looking for somebody to go shoot 4 properties across Africa. So Addis Ababa, Nairobi, and then Accra and Lagos. And she asked me, you know, we have this opportunity, we think you can do it, send us your portfolio. No, don't send us, she didn't say portfolio, send us your quote. And they sent my quote, I'm like, oh, we like it, you know, we'll get back to you when we're traveling, everything will be kept. You guys, you know what I did? I went to Land Rover Ken and looked at that car. I'm saying one, give me 1 week, I'll be back. So, you know, I literally had planned my life out of one brief. So a week to the shoot, she calls me and tells me, oh, by the way, we haven't seen your portfolio. Could you send it? And I didn't have a portfolio. So I put together, you know, those two mokimos, because it was going to be a food shoot. So, you know, I got the mokimo from this wedding and the chapo from the other wedding. And she just called me and told me straight up, you know, this specific portfolio will not fly. However, if you can put something together in a week, we might consider. Ask me if I cried. You know I cried. I cried.
But she was gracious.
Yeah?
Give you a week. Excellent.
Yeah, because the gig was going to be in a week anyway. They were not going to push it, and it was commercial. So I went home and I really cried, but it opened my eyes to the fact that I do not have a portfolio. And that the work I'm doing, a lot of people are interested in it. People who are willing to pay money. You know, I even got guidance on how to quote. You know, you quote per day. The days you're not working but you're out of town, you charge half the cost or a third. You know, so I knew that if I was in Lagos and I wasn't working, I was still earning. Like Land Rover Kenya, you want to know me by my full names. Did not happen. So I went home, I cried, I woke up the next day, I took a shower. Then one of my friends then was, used to work at the sanatorium of Sankara. She was like the resident nurse. So I called and told her, oh, you know, I have these projects. No, you know, I told her I want to create a portfolio. Is it possible for you to connect me with your head of marketing? And then we can co-own the images. So she called me for the meeting, said, oh, then it was Keija Miza who was the head of marketing. So we sat down, we discussed, okay, if you're willing to share, then we're willing to, you know, give you food to shoot. You know, hotels don't go at a loss when they give you food, but when they give you money, they cry tears. Because the food is there, you know, they're not gonna go home with it, yeah. They'll eat, and whatever remains, you know, probably it will be recycled, it will be thrown. But money leaving the pocket of a hotel to go out, they don't like that. So they called me in for the Sankara branch, and they told me, shoot all you can. And they had a French chef who was like, we want to do this. Show me what camera are you using? And then I was shooting 60. No, I'd moved from 60D to 6D full frame. So I shot, and by the time we were done, I'd shot food worth 75,000, according to their menu. And that food went into my first portfolio. So I have a soft spot for Sankara, really soft. If they call me and tell me they don't have money, I'm shooting, I don't care. Because they opened the door for me. So then that portfolio is what opened doors for me. And because you're shooting food, high-end hotels usually pair food with drinks. So I found myself shooting cocktails as well. And I shot a lot of cocktails. Then after that, Magunga and I started Baba Pima, where we'll just mix cocktails and shoot. And you know, every 2 weeks, twice a week, we'll just be pouring out content. Then brands started coming in, and you can see Magunga is an influencer for Glenfiddich out of what we were doing then. And I'm shooting a lot more alcohol content for big brands. Yeah. That's when the realization for me changed that my target is not necessarily my client. It's not necessarily the people consuming. It's not people on Twitter who are going home and they see a big billboard with white cap or whatever. Brand managers and creative directors are my primary client. Any question?
I want to email you something I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to get.
Review.
Yes.
For $5.99, you get whatever.
No, because it's good to
Yeah.
see kwa ground vitu ni tofauti.
Okay, yes, send it.
See, email address ndio. Because you see, like, what she's struggling with, there are so many things I do. So when I MC, the portfolio is different. How do you do a portfolio for MC? Apart from a picture of me on stage. Influencing is also different, like social media influencing. What do I do to make it nice other than posting analytics?
Can I do the question back at you guys? The places you earn most money, primarily, how do you get those jobs?
Word of mouth. Referral.
Okay, referral. Knowing people, also known as referral.
Yeah, I guess when you go to an event, you network, you express yourself. It's like, you do this, okay. Yeah, I'm looking for someone, come. So.
Mm-hmm.
Someone would reach out based on your body of work.
But where are they finding your body of work? Social media. If you notice, I don't have a website. If you ask around, I don't have a website. I believe in websites by the 100%. I should get my website. But I do not have a website. And somehow it's able to work for me. Yeah? It should do a lot more. Where do you make most money from? Events and live streaming. Apart from your salary?
Actually, the production. That has been one consistent very good client, to be honest. And then if they refer, it's mainly that.
Yuri, please speak this way.
In the thick of things.
Yeah?
My question is also piggybacked on what Cindy shared. You see, like from your story, you were in the industry, if we can say that. So for you, it was obvious how the system works and who to target. And there were people around you, if I would dare say, easily accessible. But for those of us who are like also creatives like you, but we do not, if you're not in the system, it's very difficult to get that relationship for someone to say, okay, yeah, do this and do that. So like you see, for example, I do podcasting, I do photography, but I've not networked with all the names you've brought.
Mm-hmm.
I've had other people talk about them, like what have you, and seen them on social media. But it's one thing to see someone on social media and reach out and say, can I do a project for you? And even do.
Mm-hmm.
You can even say I'll do it for free, but that doesn't even guarantee something will happen. Because what I've come to realize also, there's a life cycle of people's work and how they do their work. How maybe they've started their work, they've not accounted for adding additional people to come and help out.
Yeah.
So there are some certain things, someone who is trying to enter, or maybe has a body of work but doesn't know how to present it, at least you got explicit feedback for your portfolio, which helped you get further.
I get what you're saying,
Yes.
and I want to tell you that it's a myth that I want to bust. Remember that I said people hire you for the work they know you will do, not the work they think you can do. So when I left agency, my boss there who was the most amazing boss ever, Massimeri. She told me, I know you want to go out there and do other things. We will not hire your position, we'll outsource it to you. So technically I became a freelancer. But sooner or later it became clear that me being a freelancer in this agency was a lot more expensive for the agency, because I'm working for this agency. So when I left agency, what I wanted to do was to create an agency that offers creative support to agencies that cannot hire creatives. Because we realized then that there was a big gap. And there's a big gap when all the agencies are coming to you and you have private jobs to do that they could have done internally, but they do not have people. So I'm like, okay, let me go set this thing up. 3, 4, maybe 5 months in, that tap ran dry. Because you can imagine, if you have somebody internal, they'll do all your jobs at whatever pay you're paying them. But for me, if you come to me, I charge you per gig. Yeah? So quickly. And for me, it was dry for maybe 3-4 years. Even people who assumed knew me from agency didn't give me gigs. Because by then my work was not worth agency money. Yeah? So when you're on the inside, it looks cool, but when you're on the outside, you see the reality that it made sense that we brought people from Australia and the UK to shoot Tusker. It made sense because they could actually do it. Internally, locally we couldn't execute it until very recently. So it's a myth. The other myth I'd like to bust is this networking myth. Who's sustaining their lives out of networking? Like networking, it's keeping you alive.
Yes.
And you as well.
Absolutely. 100%.
Please explain to us, because you're an exception.
So, you've had this saying, your network is your network. And sometimes you have to be in places where the people who make decisions, the names that Pau have dropped are there. So for example, you being here, and we've never met before, you've met Pau, you're going to meet Ndenga, who's the producer for The Trend, and Maggie as well. We're gonna meet someone who's from, I'm sorry for the name, Ashley, who's now in Al Jazeera and BBC. That would never have worked if you did not physically come.
Mm-hmm.
Based on this, it does not mean there'll be enough return on investment, but a lot of the hands-on cash and the connections come when you call someone by their first name, mm-hmm. and they know who the hell you are. So networks pay, because even if Pau, I'm an amazing photographer, and you have a gig and you're not able to do it, and you refer me to someone, you're like, you know what, I'm busy, I'm going to give Cindy. If this person doesn't know me, if it's not Pau, they will go with someone they know, even though they're not as good as me. So networks work.
They work, but my question is, if I know Cindy, how many other people who are potential MCs do I know?
If you know me, how many other? Very many.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So why would I go with?
Because I'm your friend.
Yeah, but so if you tell me to pick her,
yeah.
and I know you're not available,
yeah.
and I have Amani Maranga's number,
yeah.
and if Amani is not around, I have somebody else's number. So why would I bypass all those people to go with your word?
Because I can only refer someone who I think would maintain my reputation, for lack of a better word. If it comes from me, my work means. You know, Pau, where you've reached, if you refer me to a photographer, I don't think that they're a shit photographer. I know this guy is working.
Unless I really don't like you, okay?
Unless you really don't like me. So there's also power in a brand.
I need a pen, because I keep forgetting what I'm trying to say.
And then on top of what Cindy is saying, I've noticed different industries have different mindsets. There's a friend of mine who does language translation. He says everyone looks for each other to give each other jobs.
Yes.
So that made me understand. Even her industry, the purpose is people connect people to opportunities because that's happening. And I guess because I'm in the creative, it's not as obvious as these other ones. In terms of just doing my research, relationships, and how things happen within each gathering.
I think it also depends on the depth of relationships that you have in networks, because if we just think about it as I'm going to an event like this, and you're like, I met somebody who does this event, so it's not immediate. You have to really build it. I can say even
That is.
and that's one thing that maybe when people say, oh, networking doesn't work, it's like, it doesn't work instantly. Even the job I got now is based on a relationship I had with somebody, not a relationship like that, but a job relationship I had with somebody from 6 years ago who vouched for me and helped me get through the process. That's not something that, that's not something that is instantaneous. That is maintaining relationships over time. And just, it doesn't have to be like every week, like, yeah, can we catch up? It can be just, say, like you're in their area, you catch up with them, you chat to them, you get to know them, you see what they're up to, you comment on their work, like, I really like what you did. But over the years, you sustain those relationships. And I can say for me, I didn't see dividends until now.
Yeah.
Like, I was really bad at keeping up, like, work relationships, not because I hated people, just because I felt like, nimemaliza hapo, so naenda kwingine. Nikaona how you shouldn't have that mindset.
Yeah.
Try and keep whatever relationships you have that you see are of value. That's how networks are built over time, and those are the ones that I feel really pay off.
I agree with you 100%. Cindy, I'm saying that there was a myth that if I went to the golf course and I learned how to golf, that deals are signed at the golf course. Yeah. How many deals have you signed at the golf course? Anyone, not just you. It doesn't matter. Who do you know? How many people do you know sign deals at the golf course? That's one. Secondly, people will say, let's get together in the evening for drinks. By the fourth shot, you can't even talk like, I love you. You're my best friend. And you just met. Yeah? If that's the kind of networking events, because even networking events is an industry in itself.
Yes.
Yeah. And people are ripping each other off by saying, I'm having a networking event. Nani will come. We'll do this talk, and then we'll do that speed dating for events and for networks. What do you do? The Landmark Forum is doing the same. Who else is doing the same? From my personal experience, again, I've never gotten gigs out of those. The places that I feel I've gotten an upper hand in is first that I have a credible body of work, but secondly, I will do a lot more collaborations. Yeah. Yeah. So if I know 6 MCs and Cindy is not available, I already know who's going to be my number 2. So it will take a lot for Cindy to say, discard the other 5. I know the person for you. It will take. I would need to know them. That's what I'm saying. And then our world has become quite smaller. And if I know you, it means I probably know 2 other people who are known to you.
Yes.
And then probably you're all in the same. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So even the work I'm doing, if I'm not able to do it, or if I miss the gig, chances that the next person I'm going to do is my close friend. I don't go 90%, 99%. Yeah. So you imagine me telling you, please don't pick me to pick Steve. I'm like, who the hell is Steve? Yeah. And I take your word for it, but I do not know them. And then thirdly, for commercial work, atubatishangi. Yeah. Even for you, when you're doing the trend, you aubatishangi, or when you fundraise $1 million bob to host another fundraiser, and then instead of getting the glorious hipsters, you get some glorious jokers. You know, even for you wouldn't risk that. Yeah. So yes, I get the networking, I get the let's build things over time, let's collaborate, but that me taking your word because it's I find it strange. Nothing is given. Sadly for our industry, for creatives, nothing is given. Everything is earned to the last coin. So if I charge 300k and you charge 3,000 more, you will work for it. It's not free. You will bust your diab for it. Yeah, nothing is given. Everything is earned. You had a question?
I wanted to contribute to the network thing. I think it's different when you are starting on a transition and establishing. I found that networking for me works with also listening so that I know where to shoot my shots.
Mm-hmm.
Not more like they do for me because I have like established and I'm still in that place where I'm making my portfolio make sense even to me. So then when we are in events, you hear what other people are doing, you understand what I'm struggling with, then I can say, oh, okay, so I spoke to Pao and he was doing this, and he's not able, he's shooting a documentary, for example, and he's struggling with this part that I can offer, then I shoot my shots and slowly build my portfolio. Yeah, I think that's how it pays off for me.
I'm going to ask an even harder question. How old are you guys? Everyone.
But now where are you going?
Before I say my
Where?
age,
Before you say your age,
I wanted to comment on like what you say about you have to work for it. In terms of networking, like I would rather work with someone I know, but later if first of all, am I good at what I do? That's the portfolio has to come in. Like if everyone has a portfolio, like what will set me apart or someone else apart is these guys are good, but I know this guy, so that's why it comes in. So I think that's.
another thing about portfolios is a lot more about presentation than how good you are. By the time you're sending that portfolio, you must be really good. So the presentation of the portfolio has to be out of this one.
Why are you asking about age? Where are you going with that? Before I reveal my.
I'll be with you in a minute. How old are you? Okay, can we do 25 to 30?
Yes.
Are you 25 to 30?
Weka bracket bwana.
Your age bracket.
31 to 35?
I'm 31.
Yeah, 40.
54.
Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
40.
31.
31.
29.
25.
27.
27. 23. 31.
33.
28.
And you?
Wait, never ask a guy that. Your average creator at their peak is 45 years old.
Yes, sir.
At their peak is if you get.
We need to hear that because we all think,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to do everything creative before I reach 30. I have to.
So your average creator across all production, whether they're DOP, whether they're cameraman, where their peak is at 45.
True.
And they will stay there for another 15 years.
It's not a chapter.
If they don't stop creating.
At a chapter classic.
No, I'm just saying from 45, we can even take it down to 40, but from 45 they'll earn consistently. If they're good, they'll earn consistently for the next 10 years. So this is how I break down let me just give you 3 tips before I tell you why age is important. So this is how I break down my earnings for the year. So I told you I'm an independent creative director working in different mediums, in visual, moving images and film, and writing. That's why I make my money. Yeah? And that's why I want to stay making my money. But I break down and I say, okay, so for photography, for product photography, next year my projection is I'm going to make about 12M out of product photography. I'm praying to God that I make 12. I'm targeting 12. In film, I'm hoping to do maybe 4 or 5 commercials, which will make me probably another 4 million bob if things go according to plan. For moving images, I'm looking at maybe another 3M. So you see where I have to lean mostly. It's in my product photography. So that's what's going to give me the most money. And I would suggest that even for you as creators, you break it down and say, I'm going to do, let me use Steve or Semabox as an example. I'm going to do this number of podcasts, but then I'm going to launch these originals. And the originals, you have a lot more power over them than the clients you're working for. So if somebody comes and tells you, I want a documentary, which is something also I'm hoping to do. I want a documentary, those are quick, easy money. I'll shoot, we'll do talking heads. You'll send me to Samburu, I'll shoot some Maasai people in the forest, harvesting honey, and then we are back, I package it, you pay me, we go. But then I would also want to do originals and say, I want to follow a Kenyan monk as a whatever they're doing, or a sheikh or a pastor over 1 year. And you create that documentary, hopefully to sell it, but also to sell you. Because when people start looking for documentary, they'll start calling you. Say, I saw you did this. How did it go? Would you want to talk about? So that's how I've planned myself. I know the points, the places, or the votes, as we call in government, the votes where I think most of my money is going to come. This is why I asked you your age. The creative leadership transition is in 15 years, is in blocks of 15 years. So, how far are you from 45? Maybe 15 years. Your relationships, and this is for networking, should be amongst your peers now. Because when you hit 45, there'll be key decision makers in those boardrooms. So for me, that's where networking works. I just don't show up and, we don't know each other. I have to be extremely, extremely good at what I do for you to assume everyone who you've grown up with. So, and you can even look at, the people who founded this country. Or they'll tell you, I was in school with Nani, and I was in school with Nani. Or if you talk to your folks, Nani was my friend, we're in the same school. And those guys are running banks, they're running brands, they're running all these things. So if you want to network, you double down on your friendships and your social circle. And you have to be strategic now, so that when it is ripe, you harvest it them. Now, we're mining gold with our hands, literally. We have to prove ourselves now, because we've just met. But if I grew up with you, and we were friends, and I saw your journey, you saw mine, it's easy for me to just say, look, I'm going with this guy, whether you like it or not. Yeah? Also, our work, there's no competition. You can't say that my work is better than Mutua Mapeka or Evans Ogeto or Namuts or whatever. It's legit work. It's really good work. You can't measure it. It's just preference. We'd rather work with Nani for this one. We'll call you for the next if it ever comes. Question?
So, I think the one thing that I constantly listen to is being able to curate my own work. Like, yes, I know this, everything I've done is brilliant, but how to curate my own body of work so that I am able to showcase the very best and kind of develop a system for myself.
Yeah.
Because, I've noticed, and as you said, there's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
And now, before the method, curating what to add to it.
That's a very good question. You don't have to curate your work. Assign it to somebody else.
I have another question. Are you of the school of thought that you add the work you do to your personal profile, like let's say Instagram? Okay, I know you're not big on social media, but from
I'm big on IG. Uh-huh.
Okay, for your fellow creatives, should you include your work in your personal stuff, or your personal profile is just for your regular life, what you do, then you have a specific portfolio work
Oh,
stuff?
I get what you're asking. So I'm yet to find creators who love their voices. Are they fighting? Oh, they're recording. Okay, so I'm yet to find creatives who love their voices. I'm yet to find creators who like being in front of. I don't like being in front of the camera, absolutely, and I don't like hearing my voice recorded. It sounds so weird. No, it sounds so bad. Yeah. So for you, get somebody to curate your work. You don't even have to edit it. Find somebody who does commercial editing and ask them to edit your work. That's where collaborations come in. Yeah. So you do this for me, and then I'll throw in a time lapse for you for whatever work you want to. It's like food at Sankara. It's going to be there, and you have it ready. So you throw it at them. Yeah. Your question is, do I add my personal things, or what do you mean when you say personal work?
Okay, like for example, for me, because I'm a creative, I just put everything on my personal. But then now, there's some people that are saying, hey, you should have a separate page just for your work.
You know, it's preference. Eh? It's really preference. My advice, and you don't have to take it, is what I did with mine is I made all my socials about work, apart from Twitter where I tell estate stories. You know, yeah, I snitch on my neighbors, and it's fun by the way. But my key primary platforms are LinkedIn and Instagram. Why is Instagram? Because we are image junkies, all of us. Yeah. Why LinkedIn? Because my brand manager and my art director are there. No other reason. Yeah. It's very money oriented. Yeah. Like I said, so this is not a motivation of you can do it. I believe in like you need to make money. Yeah. So LinkedIn, because the guys who sign the checks are on LinkedIn. Instagram, because we are constantly on Instagram, and I want to remind you that I still exist. Yeah. In terms of what to post or how to curate your work, I think it's dangerous. Keyword think, it's dangerous to put everything you do under one thing. So I have a CV. And I have a CV for my writing work, for my copy work. I have a CV for copy work. I have a CV for directing and DOPing, and then I have a CV for product photography, which is maximum 2 pages. Just say, I went to school. I promise. If you go to the records of Daystar University, I was there. Yeah, and then these are the brands I've worked with. These are the campaigns I've executed, and these are the people you can call to confirm that I have done that work. Nothing more. Yeah. If you put everything in there, I feel like then I don't know what to know you for. I don't know what to call you for. As compared to somebody who is just doing podcasts, I'd easily go to him because I can see that there's a training podcast. I'd go to him because I can see, because I'm sure you can shoot a time lapse if you wanted, but because he's consistent, people who are looking for time lapse just go there. Yeah. Any other question? And you've preempted what I wanted to say. Where do you put your portfolio? Or your portfolios?
LinkedIn.
I suggest do LinkedIn. You do Google Drive. Ushindwe. Yeah. You do. I propose you do LinkedIn again for the same reasons I do it. The people who are key decision makers are there, and the people who sign checks. And I suggest you and that's for the commercial bit. But for the Watus to grow a community, do all social media platforms that you have access to. The other thing, especially for people who do visual productions, especially podcasting, you need to consider going experiential. And we've seen people who've gone experiential and have broken barriers. Juice Party by Abel Mutua is a good example. My Check podcast recently did a thing. That's a good example. So you get your audiences from the headphones into spaces where you can connect with them. And I feel you're able to grow and you're able to monetize it further, quicker. But then again, I know very little about podcasting and monetization.
Yeah. And then, do you leverage the fact that you're a copywriter, say when you're writing, or publishing on social media platforms, writing as a small writer? So if you do you have any quick tips on just writing good copy for audio work or anything like that?
Yeah, but I'm mostly visual, so let me show you how I do my social. Let me make sure sijatumiwa vitu. So I post in threes. Oh, it was gone. I post in threes. I maintain my borders just so that the eye focuses on what I'm showing. And then I try to be as quick as possible in what I'm saying. So you can see. So of course I said I did this work. I have to say what I did. So I say, I did some old product photography work. I shot on that table. Actually, these images were shot on that table on a lazy afternoon. Also, you have to say it was a lazy afternoon, so they think I woke up like this. Yeah. And then you usually I like to say what the hard beats mostly, so they also see that I struggle a bit. And then I say recently I've started saying what gear I use. Most specifically because I want to get gear endorsement. So I say, I use Godox. So if the Godox guys see my work and they're like, hey, this is legit, there's an opportunity for brand partnership. Same for Canon. I say, I use the Canon. Even for the food, I say I shot this for Java. It was a quick drive-by shoot. When it was hell, it wasn't quick, but I say it was a quick drive-by shoot. I say what gear. If I got help or if I collaborated with anyone, I also have to tag them constantly. And then I throw in different images because I'm going for portraiture work. But I use a cheat sheet for these images. So when I post this on Instagram, I'm using the maximum pixels possible. So the work is not cropped. So Instagram says for posts you do 1080 pixels by 1350. All my images are done by 1080, 1350, and then I reduce by 100. So this is 980, this is 1250, here to here. And I create that border and I post.
So for your previous two images, why did you have them not straight?
Because of the dimensions. Yeah. If I was to do them this way, I would not catch everyone. Yeah, and I needed to catch everyone.
No, like you've got them, but I guess now.
If I tilt them, I'm saying if I tilt them, I'll have to catch this guy or this guy somewhere. But because I want all of them, then I have to go that. When I do my stories, I do 1920 by 1080, which is, if you open this in your phone, it fills your entire screen completely. There's no room for anything else. And then if I post on yeah, so if I post if I put a post on posts, it has to go on stories as well. My stories is linked to my Facebook stories. They're called stories, and my posts go straight on to Facebook, so I don't have to do double posting. And then I design specifically for LinkedIn, which is totally different dimensions. I don't know them often. But I have a Photoshop template that all images go in. So I don't need to start all those things. I just throw in, I group, I mask, and I just export quickly. In 5-10 minutes, I have my workout.
The work you've done for Total and Java is what you're explaining, that if you, were you commissioned to do the work, or you just
I was
needed
commissioned to do the work.
So, since we're talking about networking and how things came to be, how did you get the opportunity to do the Java work and the Total work?
My portfolio.
But was it somebody
So how's
who
it? Did someone
referred you?
see it like on LinkedIn and reach out to you, or was it through an actual person? Yes,
So-
your portfolio did it, but what was the story in between?
Let me just.
I'm sure it's a chance.
I'll show you. Yeah, the charts first. This is Laura Wahito. She's also a very, very good product photographer. Also allowed me to share her portfolio here. You see the difference for her? Are you seeing the pattern even for her?
Yeah, it's a mix.
But the most consistent pattern is 2, 1,
2, 1.
2, 1, 2, 1. Everyone has the Nini, but I mean, there's still the rules of design. So how did I get the Java job? I shot this in the house. All these things during COVID. This 9. I shot a lot more than 9, but specifically for this conversation, I shot this 9 during COVID. You guys, during COVID, I was paranoid. I knew the whole earth was going to die. So I didn't leave the house for 91 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Even my siblings will just come to make sure we have not died, because I'm like, you're not coming into my house. Go back where you came from. No, si talking, no vice versa. Yeah? So I shot this for myself, but for practice. And then I got this job out of showing those practice work. So this is my first commercial job, Valon. Yeah. So when I shot Valon, and they liked it, so they put a ring on it. But then I went into the studio and shot this. So these are personal projects. So the studio I was using was IQ Studios at Lavington Mall. So I went to Chandarana, I bought a 6-pack of this, and a 6-pack of this, and a 6-pack of this. Costed me a rough 3,000 bob. And then I went to 5 Senses, and Heineken was teaching them how to do the perfect serve. So they had these training classes. Okay, you can see they even say it shouldn't go past here. So then technically training classes. So I shot those. The ones I showed you, I used about 3 lights. This I used about 6 lights, and then I posted them on Instagram. 2 hours after I posted them, Tasker called me. Like, is this your work? Like, yeah. Are you sure it's your work? Can we see the raw files? I sent the raw files. That was scanned. The agency. So I sent the raw files. Like, do you have time? Do you want to talk? We might have some work. And in about 10 years, I was the first Kenyan to shoot Tasker Parks. Everyone else was white. This is in the heart of COVID. And from there, it was uphill. I got this work on Instagram. Somebody DM'd me on Instagram. Said, "Hey, we like this. Are you sure it's yours? Can we see the raw files?"
So you posted on Instagram, then you got somebody DM.
Yeah, somebody immediately. They like in 2 hours. I already had.
Didn't boost it or anything.
Didn't boost. Didn't do anything.
And you do your regular copywriting thing of tagging at Tasker.
No, this is Heineken. Why would I?
Oh, sorry,
I was shooting for Heineken.
Sorry,
oh yeah, of course I tagged Heineken. Before I shot this, just before COVID, I posted on Facebook and on Twitter that I'm going to be Diageo's biggest product photographer for the entire portfolio. I was like manifesting works, yeah, because I manifested. I thought I manifested. So I'm just saying that out of doing this work, then I got it. So then at Cafe came through. They were launching.
They tried to pay you with. Coffee for a whole year.
I think we've had such a good morning. No need for PTSD. Like, why would you take us back to Egypt? Yeah. I got a lot of offers for in kind, and I took some. I shot for some guys and they refused to pay me. In fact, since we're recording video, let me just show you who I shot for. Oh crap! I'm gonna find it. I shot for some guys and they refused to pay me. Some hotel in Karen. Actually, we didn't even make sales. I was like, you didn't what? There's some idea, but they refused to pay me.
And they commissioned you, they called you and said, look, we have a gig for you. You took the pictures.
These guys.
Later on, when they come.
Yeah, these guys. I can't forget. I've forgotten. There are 316 Karen Gardens. 315 or 316 Karen Gardens. Yeah. Please don't ever go there. Don't go there. Yeah. So I shot, they refused to, and in fact it was a referral from a friend who, and the owner of this place was best friends with the sister of that friend.
When they come.
Yeah. So anyway, so most of the work that I've gotten is well, not social media, but is backed by social media. But I say that there's credibility to the work. Yeah. There's credibility to the work. It wasn't a favor. I deserve it. I deserve more. The other thing with portfolios that the last thing I think, let me just make sure. The last thing with portfolios.
Question. Let's say someone like EAPL or Diageo. How do you get to retain that client for a longer period? Will some get?
I've had a bittersweet relationship with them. But I think it's primarily what we don't consider, even when we are putting together a body of work, is client service. Because we are we are hard, tough producers. We just go in and produce, and we do good work, but we don't do client service. And even from when I think about it, I understand why even when I worked in agencies or client service executives, because their work is to maintain that relationship. So I've had a few gigs with them that didn't work, mostly on the relationship bit, not on the work bit. I love me catch. I don't throw tantrums, but I get. I'm 90% emotional, 10% emotional, most of the time. So I shot one of the biggest campaigns they ever did was Chrome. I shot the entire Chrome campaign, and it was hard. It was a hard job, and I considered it unnecessarily hard. So you never see me posting Chrome because it reminds me of the trauma. Yeah. Another. Even Tasker, much as I'm taking pride in it, it was a really, really hard shoot. First of all, because I underquoted. I hadn't figured out pricing at that time, so I underquoted. I think I shot 100 key visuals over 3 days. That's insane. Right now, if I'm doing more than 24, like I'm dying at 24. And there was a lot of light design, and my lighting guy, we co-started with him on set. I mean, we're still friends, but on set it was so hard. Have you ever gone mountain climbing and you want to kill the person who they just tweeted and you're like, what are you doing? They did nothing. It was that stressful. And the guy who was doing lights for me was Paulo Buna. The person who was doing styling for me also just like they crumbled in between the shoots. So it was a tough shoot, but because in 10 years I was the first black person to do it, there's quite a bit of pride in that. Client service is important. Even if it means you get somebody to do client service for you per job or for retainer, yeah, just to make sure, one day, not one day, every time they would call the client, hey, hi, how is it going? How's the campaign? Did the work for you? Do you have any feedback for us? What would you like us to change next time? Commercial clients are more receptive to people who think about them. Because they're saying, okay, can we do a post-mortem? What worked? What didn't work? How do we move forward? When's your next campaign? What do I need to do now for me to get ready for that next campaign? Purely client service. And we can't do it. I just want to let you know. You think you can?
Yeah,
it will run by you. You can't do it. Yeah. So get somebody else to do it. If you can get an executive assistant, then they're able to do that work. Then it's easy, and you can hire them per project, or even just a project manager. I just don't know if it's per project they will be able to maintain that relationship over a long time.
Service is about asking for feedback from the...
No. Client service is making sure that when you're done, the client is happy.
What if the client isn't happy?
What if it's the work of the client service guy to figure out how to make the client happy? So it's the work of client service to just ask them, what do you want? And you have to be involved in the conversation. Say, this won't work. And from my experience, if we tried this with Nani and Nani, it backfired on us. What if we use this different?
So it requires someone who is it short-term.
Yeah, please. I'm not scared of you getting mad. I'm scared that somebody might go to jail. Yeah, for assault.
Usually in your arsenal for a shoot, apart from you, the photographer, then you have a client services. Who else is in your arsenal?
So I have a constant team when I'm doing a commercial project. So I have Agreo Jambo, who's always on DIT on screen. So I shoot straight to screen. So I don't let clients look at my LCD on the camera. Everything goes onto the screen. So there's somebody who's making sure that everything is stuck sharp. They enlarge to see that everything is very sharp. Nothing is soft. So Agrio Giambo does that. Paulo Buna does my lighting. If I need additional lighting, I get Dave Pokers, who's also a brilliant photographer. When I go on set, I go with other photographers. Everyone has to be a photographer because they can see some things that I don't see. So for commercial work, everyone on my set, who's on my team, is a photographer. Yeah. So Agrio Giambo, Paulo Buna, Dave Pokers on lighting. I get you guys know Kathomi? Kathomi is always my camera assistant for the big gigs that require cameras. Also, depending on the budget, you can decide, who do you need and who. Yeah, so I have Kathomi, and then if I need an additional camera person, I have a guy called D Major. He's a brilliant events photographer. The reason you need photographers on set is because they are photographers. This is the work they do, so they can see the things you're not seeing. So I guess even for you writers, you don't send podcasters your written work to review or to edit for you. Yeah, because ideally they will struggle. And podcasters, you don't get a mama mboga, mtu boda on set. You really think about who's on set. So that's my primary guys. Whenever I'm shooting commercial, if I'm and I never shoot alone, even if the budget does not allow, there has to be a second person on set, and again they have to be a photographer. And usually it's my number one guy. Always in my list, it's always Agrio Giambo. I think you've seen his work. He shoots for Vivo a lot. Or Vivo Woman, or those. It's called Shop Z. Yeah, so he's the guy who does all the images for Shop Z. One last thing I wanted to say. Is there a question? Another question?
Who does your client service?
I do my client service. I would rather not do my client service as well. So part of my processes is I'm going to hire somebody permanently for client service. Well, not to hire, outsource client service, but permanently. Yeah.
Does that include your social media?
I do my social media. Again, I would rather not do it. They should be able to do. There's Joram Winamo of Wild. He introduced me to some lady who does virtual personal assistant, something like that. So that's the person I'm going to do for social media.
For upcoming guys who might not have the financial resources to hire someone, would you advise them to, if it's a sister or a cousin, somebody who
I would actually
doesn't have a short temper? Because the thing, artists you get into your head.
Yeah, but they don't have they don't have to answer any questions. They don't have to respond to any likes. That will be your work, and you tell them, oh, this one has said, I don't know what I'm doing. Respond and tell them,
thanks.
Go hear bad at your home. Yeah, you don't have to go through everything. Some people will just be there and you're like, hey, good job. I mean, you don't have to respond to everything. You just do a like or a thumbs up. Yeah.
I know your primary selling point is that you said LinkedIn and IG. Would you consider having a salesperson, probably? By that I mean, looking for more clients, as much as you have Rekina, Diageo, Value.
I would. The reason we do this portfolio, it's a sales process. So if I can get somebody who can get a lot more guys to see my work, people who I want to see my work, then it's a cost that would pay itself over time. So yeah, I would highly consider. What I am not able to do at my level is I'm not able to run HR because I will die. Also, it's so hard to work with millennials and Gen Zs. I took in two assistants 3 assistants once, and I'm saying Gen Z, sorry. I took an assistant, and one during a shoot just told me, I'm not feeling this thing. Maybe it's not for me. I'm like, we are shooting. Hold the light. I don't think it's for me. Maybe I should go and do a podcast. Nikasema huyu nitamwambia maneno alete mambo ya mental health. Nikawacha. Another one, also the other thing we do, especially we have, when we have people on set, we try and balance interaction with guys. So I know of a photographer who was sued because he went and touched a lady's, they need to fix her.
Mike.
No, to fix her clothes, yeah. And he could have just asked.
He was sued.
Yeah, he was sued. And they had to settle. And he could have just asked, is it okay if I fix this because it's off? And she would have said yes or no. But the other reason we like having, for those kinds of shoot, we like having stylists, is so then it becomes their work. Because they're able to handle those kinds of things. And they could have just gone to the bathroom and just done whatever they needed to do if we had asked. And then one started directing so the client had a director and they were directing, and then this was like, you are not directing, well, you are sure. The client was like, what? Young man. Yeah, so they had to leave set. For me, it's very important that there's a lot of professionalism on set. I keep bragging that my sets are the most fun sets ever. Because there's music, there's going to be food, there's going to be good banter. We'll try as much. No alcohol. Alcohol later if you want. We'll try as much to make it fun to be here. Because the work is pressure. Yeah, people get on the edge. So a key selling point for me is that if you come on set, you'll have the most fun you have. Last thing, once you have your portfolio, what do you do with it? How do you get it out? Do you blind mail people? Do you spam their WhatsApp?
Try to drive conversations.
Between two people, like.
One step is like Twitter Spaces. So.
Okay. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Join Twitter Spaces that relate to like what you do. So.
Or you create your own Twitter Spaces.
You can create or you can join other Twitter Spaces, and then you try to drive the conversation. You be like a politician.
It might be one of those things that takes a little bit of time also. Like, the first thought that came to my mind was identify people who you feel you can add value to without even sharing your portfolio. Just in general conversation, reaching out to people, talking about what you do and how you can add value, or what they do, finding out what they do first. That's one way. The other way could be establishing yourself as a thought leader in whatever it is you're doing. It is longer, but I feel like. And what are you talking about?
It's like high level marathon type mindset.
Okay.
To establish yourself as a thought leader.
Will take time.
Yes.
But it
won't take time.
It just needs you talking enough about something more than the average person.
Yeah. I mean, you can be a thought leader in 3 weeks. You just need to know what you're talking about. Yeah. You can be one in 3 months. Twitter Spaces are good, or even Instagram Spaces. If you those Spaces,
or TikTok,
IG Live, those things,
Or TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, I should.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, like if you post the same thing on Instagram and you post it on TikTok, somehow TikTok gives you more engagement.
But TikTok does not do conversions for me. I'm not out for engagement.
Yeah.
I have less than 4,000 people following me
Yes.
on IG.
Now, when you say engagement, like you said, you'll see someone who probably sees it and say, hey, yeah, can I find out more?
But are the
No.
decision makers?
No,
the
not
brand
for
managers,
not for
are
me.
they on
Not
decision
for me.
makers or not?
Yeah.
It depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah.
My biggest pain points have come from TikTok. Yet I didn't know what I was doing there.
Yeah.
So I just shared one snippet that I shared on Instagram. Got say 20k views. Put the same thing and it's at 140,000 views. And I could see that they migrated, came back to Instagram, and I can see for listeners to that episode also increased. And you also find someone reaching out to you like, I saw this on TikTok, would I plug my business? So it's one of those platforms that I was very against until I was like, I'm not putting any work at it, I'm just gonna throw things there and just see. So I think it varies with what you're doing, how you're doing it, and I don't know if you like risks.
Yeah. You know, I deliberately build infrastructure based on the policies I have. So one of the policies I have is that I will never, and it's gonna change soon because Ruto is who. I will never ever work for government, but now keep at attendant meeting. Yeah. So I get that there are SMEs who have cottage industries who will benefit from the kind of work I do, and I appreciate and when they come, I will take the work, and we'll probably collaborate and do good work. But my infrastructure is built for lack of a better word, Kimathi Street. Yeah? For those guys who go to nationals to trade, because they're spending a lot more money, and I want that money. And they will not struggle to spend that money on me with what I'm able to do. When you have your portfolio, my question is, how do you get it to the people who need to see it without overly relying on social media? That's my question.
I would try to email.
So how do you know who to email?
You do searches on LinkedIn. Keep up. I feel like that's how I find most people. Like you said, if you have a company you're interested in, and then you filter by roles, and then you filter by region, then you're able to get a more narrow view of people you can talk to.
Yeah, when I was doing weddings, it occurred to me that there are more than 120 weddings in Nairobi per weekend.
What?
And I was like, why am I not shooting these weddings? Kwani who's shooting? And then if you just focus in on Nairobi alone, because everybody wants to get married in Nairobi, service providers and things like that. The destination wedding is a totally different niche, and it's not within this 120. Yeah? So you have Fridays when people will go to the AG. Most people who go to AG go on Fridays. And then you will have Saturday, which is the big church and garden weddings. And then if you have SDA friends, maybe a few on Sunday. And then those who are very, very risky will do it during the week. So what I did, how I got wedding business was, it is a legal requirement by the government of Kenya that you have to publish bans of marriage 21 days.
You went to get a gazette notice?
No, I didn't go to. I went to churches, because who is publishing the bans of marriage? I went to churches. Then when I go to churches, I realized there's something called premarital counseling class. Who is the pastor in charge of? But yes, your civilians are avocado. Yeah. So I weddings taught me a lot. Yeah. So then I was able to target and know if these guys, there's 10 of these guys who are doing premarital, 10 couples, what are the chances that I can miss one? Yeah. So then I honed in my portfolio, which I'm not sure it's bad. My wedding portfolio is bad. But I honed in on those guys. I knew that there's Premarital counseling in Mafuni, All Saints Cathedral, St. Mark's, ICC, KAG Buruburu. Every week I will do rounds and I will just be sharing my portfolio, my business card. And then I started getting calls for funerals. Wall up, nigga. Yeah? Because then, this guy said, oh, this guy took really nice wedding photos for us. Maybe they can take really nice funeral photos for you, or something like that. So I'm asking you that you become more focused on your marketing. And this is the risk of doing everything, of being known to do everything. Yeah? But if you're targeted, if you're wildlife and who needs wildlife? KWS needs wildlife, some Jungus somewhere need wildlife, and things like that. Then you're able to focus it. If it's editorial photos, if it's podcasting, you guys saw there isn't, and podcasting as a government policy. You saw the report on HIV/AIDS. You guys, you haven't seen so the government released a report on HIV/AIDS saying that 10-year-olds to 23-year-olds are most prone. So they're creating content targeted to a 10-year-old. I mean, first of all, it's a 10-year-old. But if you're a producer, then if you think about Mary Stopes and what they do with reproductive health, you can literally create content. So what do? You target reproductive health as a strategy, as a policy. What worked for me? So I will tell you, if we go head to head in the boardroom, you won't beat me. If I get into the boardroom, if I get into a pitch, you won't beat me because I'm very good at my decks. I'm very good at my pre-production, and I have the budget for next year. No. So the thing that the game changer for me, which I propose for you, let me tell you first of all. There's can you guess how big the creative communication industry is in terms of money? Forget the creative economy, the creative communication industry. So think about ads, think about branding and product placement, think about your podcasting or your vlogs or your whatever, think about banners and posters, think about photography. Do you know how much it is worth per year? 300 billion shillings. Umetengeneza ngapi tangu mwaka ianze?
Unajuaje sijafika?
And who is making the most?
Yeah.
Do you know who's making the most?
Media buyers are making the most. Media buyers will always trust us. Of course, buying that media is really expensive. Yeah, so media buyers make the most. If you look at numbers, if you look at Scanad, if you look at Ogin, if you look at Saracen, Safaricom alone, I think they do 5 billion a year in terms of marketing. If you look at Barclays, ABSA, and you look at the government itself, it's huge. The amount of money is huge. I'm Oko too. So I'm saying when I get into the boardroom, I don't even come with a presentation. I come with a book, and it is my portfolio. And I just love seeing people like, wow, you did this. Yeah? This is my the Excalibur. Yeah? This is it for me. Because then they're able to touch, they're able to see, they're able to feel. And it's easier for me to make a conversion with this than it is for me to make a conversion with this.
And what you feel is a certain reality that people that deal with services, that if you don't have something tangible for the customer to hold, it's difficult for conversion. Because, like, let's say, if you have a physical product, it's easy to say, this is 2,000 or this is 200,000. They might whine about it, but because they are holding it and they can see and touch it, they're more likely to consider it. It's just words you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about other industry, but for my industry, it's because these things are going into print one way or the other. I've proved that the print will look good. And so for example, if you are talking about research and development, which takes a lot of money out of that allocation of 300 billion, and that's just Kenya alone. What do you do? How do you, unless now you say you want to do infographics, or you want to do a documentary, or you want to print a report, maybe that would make sense, but I wouldn't. Any other question before we proceed? If you have a portfolio you want me to help review, I am available, willing and available to help you review your portfolio for $5.99. I'm joking. Yeah. Question? Concerns?
Are there any specific design aesthetics that really work for portfolios?
Portfolios?
Besides just, okay.
Negative space, always. These spaces.
Oh.
Always. So my portfolio has my socials. And the reason they're here is so that this place doesn't just look like, even that place doesn't look. See this line, just to separate, and what I do, my credentials. Yeah, but negative space always.
Is there work or an industry or particular story that you would like to do that you haven't done?
With regards to the things that I do?
Yeah.
Next year I'm hoping to do a documentary on families who have relatives who have been convicted of crimes.
Convicted?
Yeah, like your brother is a thug. That's the person I want to talk to.
He's a thug in jail.
He's a thug in jail. Yeah, not. I mean, I don't want somebody to say, "Oh, alimwekelea." No. I want somebody to say, "This guy, but I started stealing when he was 10." So that's the kind of work I want to do for my document, and also it's a personal project that I've been thinking about for a long time. I have a few others that I would want to do.
How do you get to present? We've seen one side of which is the photography side. I talked about film or the commercial. How do you get to present that to your clients?
And writing, my all my work is targeted. Yeah. So let me see if I can find some TVC I've done, and I'm at 3%. Niko na mjamo. Don't get me there. I will tell you.
Steve, you had a question.
Yeah, Steve, go ahead.
Okay, so when you do the portfolio, the client asks for the video people that they put your for this kind of work, this is how much I need.
No, portfolios come before the quote. Yeah? Because when they're asking for the portfolio, they haven't told you the scope of work. It's usually, hey, can you send us your portfolio? Do you have a portfolio? Even people who don't have portfolios ask for portfolios, and then they put it together. So when they say, can you send a portfolio? Then you ask, oh, for what? Then when you get the details, then you send the portfolio. Quotes and pricing is a totally different conversation. Yeah.
what's your, from your experience in pitching, once you have the portfolio ready, outside of having the physical product in your hands, what are the steps that you go through pitching that are a must?
Can you get a remote before? Sorry, can you get a remote before we make noise for these guys who are making noise for us?
How long will it take you to save for another?
I don't know. Like 1 year.
So what's going on?
I just started playing drums, so I think I would like.
So I wrote and produced this ad before Chase Bank went down. So it was a campaign. I think we did 3 ads. I was creative director at large for Kijiji agency. So we did, I think we did 3 ads.
Well, I actually like to study fashion.
Why is he not studying?
Well, first of all, I hope you can find it for this. But you know, I'm not really at school.
Have you thought of doing
Of course. I think about that stuff all the time. In fact, often really nice shots from a bit of a well-off family. So of course, I have to think about how I can impress the people that matter.
What's your best place to holiday?
Oh yeah, of course.
How have you been to Malindi?
I haven't been there in a long time. You know, Key, Sharma, and of course it costs. These things cost quite a bit of money, but I'm saving.
Out of place. Somewhere leafy, somewhere so that.
My tablet has died. Again, my work is really targeted. So for DOP commercial work, it goes to creative directors and production managers in agencies. Yeah. For documentary work, I would have shown you I did some documentary for Boma and Mary Stokes as well. I go straight to communication managers for NGOs, because then they have the resources and they have the decision on who they want to work with. So all my work is targeted. If it's copy, again, it goes to creative directors and heads of copy. Yeah. So what we are saying is you are going to do your portfolios for 2023, 2024, right? In advance. So that when January comes in, we're already pitching for work, yeah?
So let's say, what are your steps for pitching once someone shows interest? Because like you said, as a creative especially, you work so much on creating the visual portfolio content, and then someone reaches out to you on LinkedIn and you're happy, like, yeah, someone has seen it. Then they say, okay, yeah, let's have a meeting. What are the essential things to hit during the pitch or the presentation, outside of the physical thing? What must you communicate?
I think most of the time, especially now, if somebody comes to you, they probably know you, or they probably seen you and what you do. So I think it would be more important that you're more aware of yourself and your limitations over what they need from you. So for me, I would rather know my limitations and say I can't do this, instead of saying, I can do this. Let's try. You know how you know you're not cut out for a job is when you're struggling to budget. That's how you know you're. When they ask you for a quote and you're struggling to put the quote together, that's where you know, banana. I might underquote, kinirambe, or I might overquote and lose the gig. Yeah. If you have to make more than 10 calls to put together a quote, that's a red flag. Yeah.
But you see, for what you shared, in the creative industry, that information is not really shared. So you find you can execute to do the work, but then when someone asks you how much, you've not dealt with that before. But as in like in your private projects, you've done everything.
Yeah.
So then how can you bridge then between that? The reality that maybe you know how to execute, but you just don't know. And then the people, no one is going to tell you the money.
No. So those are two totally different things. Execution is like you have to be really good at execution. Yeah. By the time you're quoting for that job, or by the time you've made up your mind like this job I can do, you must be able to do it. Yeah. Pricing is a totally different conversation. Because somebody can ask you to do an ad pro bono and you do it, and somebody can ask you to do the same ad and they're paying you money and you will still be able to do it. So how do you price? So those are two different conversations. I'll give you one final thought on pricing, because now you brought it up. But know yourself and try and dig up a bit more about the client. But also don't, impress is not the word. Don't go in there determined to get the job. Go in there with an open mind that you will hear things you had not thought about when the quote was asked for. And you can say, look, you don't have to do a TVC. Let's do a radio ad. It will make more money for you. It will be cheaper, and the reach is big, because radio is still big. Or you might hear that we want to make ads to piss off these kinds of people, or we want to piss off the government, or we want to make the government look good, and then you really have to you have to go and with an open mind and listen to what guys are saying. When it comes to pricing, what do you do? You do like you take photos?
Creative writing.
How much you write copy? Creative non-fiction, fiction? Okay, so how much do you charge for a story?
It depends.
With what?
The technicality.
What's in the technicality of just typing? Like, how is typing?
The idea of the client, like kuna client anaweza kuambia idea ingine utafikiria like for 6 hours to execute, and then kuna client atakwambia kitu like 10 minutes.
So how do you price for the thinking time?
So
while you're thinking about it, how much do you charge to produce a podcast? We'll come back to you. 35,000. Cindy, how much does it cost you to MC?
Depends on the gig, but minimum is 70.
Minimum is 70. Why does it depend on the gig?
Because there's some
they have
gigs
different
where,
mics.
No,
different gigs have
there's
different
some
mics.
gigs. Why not so far? There's some gigs that are more demanding than others, like launches.
Where's the demand? That's what I'm looking for. Like where are the price points?
Where the price points, where the demand for my creativity, is when I am helping to design the launch. So it's not just coming on stage and being emceeing, but I'm part of the design. That's why it depends.
What do you guys do?
I do a lot of things. I produce, TV producer,
TV producer for
the trend.
Oh,
trend I produce, yes.
So if I had another trend and I wanted you to produce for me, how much would you charge me? Your money, don't tell me, camera will cost me 19 million.
You have to be specific.
No, just give me a rate. A comfortable rate for you.
Again, it depends the magnitude of the work.
Time.
Depends time.
Okay.
And how long. Am I doing it every single day, or is it once per week? Then that is what will determine how much I'm going to charge.
So just give me cost per drop. So say it's a one day gig, and you probably have to do maybe a day or two of pre-production.
So are we talking about TV
Yes,
show?
you as a producer. Pesa ya producer, ile producer anaenda nayo home ni ngapi? That's what I'm asking.
Well, it depends.
Ni pesa mingi.
It doesn't have an now. Oh, ni mingi.
Pesa mingi.
Ni pesa mingi.
How much do you charge for time lapse?
So there is
Umesikia? So there's a
daily rate and then there's a post-production rate.
Oh.
So the figure will depend on the length of production.
What's the standard length?
So say the project lasts a month, and the frequency will probably be 12 days per month. So your average would be between 100,000 and 250,000
over a month.
for the entire production.
How much do you charge for your photography?
Depends on the day.
Okay, there's nothing that's.
You kill me.
How much do you charge? Do you have a flat rate?
I have a flat rate.
How much do you charge?
150,000 bob per day.
Per day?
Yeah.
Do you have,
and
what
15K per
outputs
hour
do you
on the hour, and every additional hour. So
And-
if you say we'll finish at 5 and we finish at 5:05, I'm billing you an extra.
An extra 15K. And for that 150K, what do I get? Do I get like, because you said minimum 24.
Or you get, in fact, you can just go home with your photos that day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But there's a minimum number. It's 150K for 24 photos.
No. Per day.
Yeah, per day.
Per work day.
So you bill per hour.
It's per hour, but then
So I booked you for a work day.
Yeah.
And I have the 150K. What are you giving me in return?
all the work that we would have done on that day.
Even though it's a million pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
You can come with your hard drive and go with it. I've not retouched though. That's a totally different conversation.
Oh, raw footage.
Raw footage. Go
You're
if you-
charging me 150K for raw footage.
For raw footage. It's soft. At hard drive ni yako, my friend.
Yeah.
The only thing that's mine is my camera and my SD card and my cables to plug into my laptop so that you see what I'm shooting. Every other thing is costed.
So what Tasca, like the way the imagery it's looking, those are retouched.
Those are
photos,
retouched.
right?
That's a total different rate.
So they charged you to take the pictures and
And
they
then,
charge you to retouch.
I charge them. You mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you charge them, and then do they keep the rights to the photos or?
All commercial work you need. You
give
give up
up?
the rights. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll be paid to do it. You can't
What
claim.
about what you did with Kina Daisy, Busola and Pauline?
Collaboration, we co-own the rights.
Oh, okay.
So, for example, Nungo said she never wants to see those photos anywhere.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you take them out, you can't see. But they have to stay in my portfolio. I'm not blowing them up, but they have to stay in my portfolio because I did the work, then it's my work. Yeah. So, let's come to. I don't want to break your heart, so let's go with you. So, a gig of a month takes you 200. It will cost you 200K. Of 12 days of shooting. Where's a calculator?
I gave you one use case.
No, I want to work with that one. I don't want a lot. You have a calculator. 200K divided by 12. Hakuna mtu wa mathematics?
16,000.
So it's 16,000. You charge 16,000 per day. Per day. Where do you get those clients?
You want to steal.
From majority.
What's majority?
Majority is from.
Do you go for meetings?
Yes, I do.
Do they pay you for your transport? To go for those meetings?
I limit my meetings. I limit my meetings to site visits. To inspect.
I said I will break you, so let me not break you kwa sababu kuna mtu anacharging 35 per podcast. So acheni tu niwache hiyo maneno. But technically I'm saying that you're probably charging 1,000 bob per hour if you do your proper math. But pricing is a total different. It's a total difference.
When you come for a meeting, you charge them for the bus fare?
I charge for only one meeting, our initial meeting. After that, I'll include it in production costs.
I'm like, well, come we talk. We haven't even, the deal hasn't even.
No, I'll come.
But you'll charge me
In fact,
for
I'll even buy the nini. I'll buy the coffee for that meeting.
Oh.
Because after that meeting, we will know if I'm doing the work or not.
Okay, now you're doing the work,
Now
You
then,
bill that coffee?
then no.
Oh.
I spend a maximum of 3,000 per client for every project. Hiyo nimekubali iende na Ruto. I mean iende na maji. Yeah. After that, I have to bill, because if I'm meeting you over a certain project over and over, it means I'm not doing other work
That's
that
an
should be
interesting
compensated
dynamic.
for.
I've never had something like that.
Because for us creatives, our work is time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the skill that we already have in time. So even my edits, I do my edits at night. Unless it's very urgent, you want it now. You won't see me editing. I'll be on people's DMs. I'll be making calls. I'll be probably writing proposals, doing decks, because that's the work. Then when I get home at night, I do my editing. In the morning, I send my work.
Do you charge for?
Yes.
So you retouch and a client's like, no, add this, remove this, changes.
2 changes maximum. From the 3rd change, we revert to the initial cost.
What about if you get a client, you have like your set revisions, and maybe you have set like revisions is like 3, but the client keeps on insisting for. Do you charge extra for?
Yes, I've just answered that. We go back to I call that as a new project. Yeah.
A brand new one.
And they pay. Let me tell you, this
150.
But some clients have like a budget. Yes, they have like they come to you, they say our budget is 500K.
That's a really good client, by the way, because most of everyone like, I don't have budget. Yeah.
So, but everyone, okay, but all clients have a budget in their mind. Like before even you buy something, you'll always be like, you have your own budget. So if you say your price first, do you think?
No. You know, the hard work for us as creatives, working for clients, is we have to teach our clients. We have to constantly teach our clients. So I'm saying, ukipata job ya 5,000, chukua.
I know we're running out of time,
Yeah.
but my last question
Wait.
is.
So chukua. VPG, ukipata job ya 5,000, chukua. But your goal is who? 150. So you have to teach this guy that you kazi lazima tuifanyie. If they don't align, they will drop. You won't even chase them. They'll stop calling you. So you'll unlock another level, and you'll find guys there, and there'll be a million jokers there. And you tell them, this is how we do it, and they will follow. I mean, if you ask around, even for you guys, if I came with 10K and I want to do a whole feature on the trend, so you tell me to go and sit with my mom?
Yes.
Yeah?
Tell you to do it on your Facebook.
Exactly. Yeah. And you'll even tell me, but we can even help you amplify on your Facebook, or if you go to our website, we can put a mention there for you on our Twitter or whatever. Sindio? Yeah. So you teach. The hard thing that I had to do was I had to teach my clients my workflow. And this is the other thing I forgot to say about portfolios. Portfolios are about workflow. You can't tell me you edit videos. You have to show me how you edit videos. You can't tell me you do podcasts. You have to show me how you do podcasts. Workflow is a lot more important than anything else. So it's portfolio and your workflow. In the creative industry, we hire because of workflow. We don't ask for CVs. Say, Bana, you say you can design. Come. If you go to Scanner today, they'll tell you there's a machine. There's your machine. These are the files. This is the password for the internet. Na kahawa iko pale. Drink all the coffee you want. This is your brief. Can you execute? And they will walk away and they will come. They'll ask you, how long will it take you? 3 hours. We'll give you 4. You do your thing. After 4 hours, they'll come and ask you, let me see. And then they'll say, open your workflow. Okay, let me see your curves. Okay, you did your curves there. Let me see how you cleaned up. When I tu ulifanya kila kitu ka compress, sasa ni one image. After we don't know if you wanted to change colors, we don't know where to go. So we hire for workflow. The creative industry hires for workflow, not output.
Something else.
Last one, and then we can talk one on one.
Like, let's say you're creating an ad, and this ad is supposed to make, let's say, ABL billions dollars. Like, there's the value you create that, as much as it's an image, how they will use this image in terms of billboards and all. You're so sure that this work will generate a lot more. Can you price based on like the perceived value you give them?
No. And the reason why is that it will be a hard sell, because even they don't know the value. Even they don't know the value.
But they've been doing it before.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm telling you. That's the work of media buyers. Yeah. Our work is to get in on set, shoot, and go with everything we built for in our pocket. Nothing less. Yeah. And if it was a personal project and they got it from you, so I did some work for White Cap and they bought it from me, and Sikera, and they bought it from me. We can talk about rights. You can say, you want to use it for how long? Okay, I'll charge you this much for this time. Because the work is mine. I went and bought those things in the supermarket with my money and created these images. Now you want to derive from it. Hapo tunaweza ongea rights. But where they tell me, Paul, I want you to shoot this thing like this. It's in a right hapo. I keep telling guys, there's no creativity on set. Creativity is before you get on set. Because on set now we have to deliver what we promised we will deliver. And that is not being creative, that's being technical. We can continue chatting after lunch. I can see we are all dying. I'm sorry. Thank you guys. Thanks for.
Thank you.
As I said, if you want me to review your portfolio, I'm down for it. Enjoy your lunch.
Well, thank you so much. That was a wonderful session. I know a lot of guys will look for you. To everyone, thank you for attending this session. Thank you for making the time. Hopefully we shall continue to grow more on this. I don't want to take too much of your time. Lunch is ready to be served. Karibuni.
Thank you guys.